What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I'm here with my colleague Jason Oppenheim from Netflix's hit show Selling Sunset, and we're on our way right now to see one of his $40 million listings up on the Sunset Strip here in Hollywood.
It is, I think, the largest house ever built in the Hollywood Hills here, and it will be one of the most expensive.
Okay, so I have not seen his house yet, so let's take you guys along and you'll see exactly what $40 million gets you here in the Sunset Strip. So we just got to the house and I want to introduce you guys to the owner and builder, Jeff.
The house is right at 20,000 square feet. Started building it about 2.5 years ago. I actually lived in the house that was here originally. Really? Decided to tear it down, wanted to build my dream house, and got in the middle of it, and things changed, got married, decided this is not where I wanted to live, and decided to put it up for sale. Like I said, I originally designed it for myself, so it wasn't designed as a spec house. I pulled out all the stops with all the interior. For example, one of the things that's special about this house is there's over 30,000 square feet of Italian stone between what's on the floor, what's on the walls, some of the ceilings. This is the entrance to the garage, okay. And which opens up in here where you can put 12 cars. It's a 12-car garage. Besides having a 12-car garage, is having a garage that has 2 access points. You can drive in from the main entrance, come through the garage, and drive right out. Yeah. The exit right here, or the other way around.
Aren't you doing a movie theater here as well? This is a 15-foot drop-down projector screen right here.
Correct.
With the projector above Jeff's head. So you can have your amazing cars here. You can have pool table. You can watch a movie with couches. Right. It's a very kind of unique experience where you not only have a garage, but you also have like a real living finished space.
I'm a car guy, yeah. So I wanted to set up for cars, be able to watch, a football game or whatever when I'm down here. But this could also make an amazing art gallery for somebody. If you had a spectacular art collection, that's the length of that wall there. You could house a lot of paintings on. Yeah.
So Graham, this is the main entrance of the property. You're going to walk into a beautiful front door right here. Here, I'll actually show you the course. Okay. Then you walk across this water feature, and then you're looking at these palm trees in this nice, beautiful courtyard. And then you walk right up to the main level of the house.
When we go upstairs onto the main level, you'll notice the crazy infinity pool, and then there's this water feature that runs all the way around the fire pit and the entertainment terrace, which then comes through here and then waterfalls down into this feature right here. It's set up where you can go right to the elevator, and we'll go see this here in a little bit, but the Rooftop Deck, one of the largest rooftop decks in the Hollywood Hills, you can hop on that elevator and it'll take you right to the rooftop, and it will not stop. You can set it where it won't stop at any of the floors, so if you just have a bunch of people over and you don't want them tripping through your house, right. Hop in the elevator straight to the rooftop. And I started doing this about a little over 20 years ago. I built a house in Laguna Beach. In fact, its nickname is the Bat Cave. You would drive into that house, you'd go into the garage. When you'd shut the garage door, the car would go down on an elevator, and you'd come out this tunnel and go to the main house right on Thousand Steps Beach and Laguna Beach. That's where I started doing these type of homes. When I started doing projects here in the LA area, the first home that I bought to remodel and sell, I bought through Jason. This project started before any construction, before any dirt was removed. The architect, Sayota, out of South Africa, very prominent architectural firm, they came to the property and set up scaffolding all around the property and took hundreds upon hundreds of pictures. So when they were designing the house and setting the elevations, they wanted each room or each floor or whatever, to make the view the center of the house, and basically the art of the house is the view. So like this elevator, you're coming up through each floor. It opens up to a different view on each level. And for example, this side, the back side of the elevator opens into the wine room as far as the view.
And another thing I think we should point out is how thin and narrow all the glass is in the house. Because I think you spent over $1 million on the glass. It was
about $1.1 million just for the glass package on this house.
When you are building a 20,000 square foot house, if you want high quality stone, it's $1 million. If you want high quality, thin glass, it's $1 million. If you want, I think he spent $1 million on waterproofing. So everything on a house this big, if you want it to go from a level 8 up to a level 9, that's an extra $250,000. So this is the dining room, and he created a separation from the dining room to the living room, but not a complete separation, which I think is perfect, because you want to be able to see and engage with people and not have like that very formal dining area.
I like to think of it more as a piece of art than it is just a separating wall between two rooms, because you lose a lot of the space, the wall space for art. This pool, as far as the infinity edge and the overall linear length of this pool, is 175 feet.
Which is the longest pool ever built in the Hollywood Hills. So this room to me is the statement room. And Jeff, if I'm correct, you push a button and this entire room opens up.
That is correct.
And then the room feels like it's twice as big when all these windows are open. And this is the part that we were talking about. This is what costs $1 million. Look how narrow this is. So many other homes have like 3 or 4 inch pieces of glass and it blocks your view. So Jeff, you can talk about this too, but I know he spent almost $500,000 lowering telephone poles that were around this house.
I wish it was only $500,000. It was $500,000 for the LADWP section. We had to hire a contracting firm over and above that to run all the underground conduits, redo the paving. We're between all 5 power poles that we took down and relocated. Our budget on that now is just a tad under $1 million to remove all those power poles, including the ancillary work that had to be done as part of it. I mean, for me, it was a deal breaker. We started working on the power lines a year before we even started this project, because if there was any possibility we were going to be turned down and not able to remove the power lines, this project would not have happened.
Yeah, he spent $1 million lowering those telephone poles, and you probably made $3 or $4 million.
Easy. Easy. Best return on this house was the money spent on those power poles.
Yeah, people always ask me, like, who do you sell homes to? I don't know if there's a more eclectic group of people than the people that buy in the Hollywood Hills. Just show me a bank statement, and if it's got enough zeros on it, you come on, look at this house.
A good buddy of mine is in the sign business and builds billboards and signs, and he said, let's put a TV in and put it on a hydraulic lift system. So they're
$1 million.
No.
You can turn this 16-foot TV over to it.
So when you're setting there,
if you're on the roof,
it'll
it can tilt
up.
Yeah.
And then that is the just on the other side of that. Well, there's another deck right here that'll have loungers, outside of the water. Then behind that is that little moat that wraps around the fire pit and the entertainment terrace, and then continues underneath the deck, and then waterfalls over into that basement area that we're looking at near the entrance of the house. This planter, we had a palm tree in there, didn't like the palm tree, how it looked, it just wasn't working. We removed it, and in fact, tomorrow, Monday, they'll be delivering the canary palms that go out at the street and entrance level, and then the twin king palms that go in here. We have to get a road closure permit. And then each one of these palm trees that's coming in, because these streets are so narrow and so windy, they can't get a normal size truck to put 4 or 5 trees on. So we have to bring each tree up on a separate vehicle, which is
$1 million.
that really kind of drove me crazy when I first moved back to the LA area. Is I'd have a house and it'd have these great views, but I had no grass. There was no yard. There was no greenery. So we've really tried to do everything we can to get some really nice areas.
Real grass, not fake grass.
Yes, real grass, no fake grass. Off the kitchen, though, is the entertainment terrace. There's a full 12-seat dining table right here outside. There's seating right past this. There'll be couches and chairs seating for another 10 people. And then right past that is the sunken fire pit, which will have seating for about another 14 people. Right here, this bar area right here pretty much is an extension. It looks like it's an extension from the interior island. Continues out here. There's seating, bar height seating along here.
All of this opens up so that you've got this indoor eating and hanging out and cooking, and then right to the outdoor where you've got your table.
This is open right now. Normally this stays closed and it just looks like this wood panel here. This opens up, the 80-inch TV slides out. If you don't want the TV, you hit the button, boom, slides in, and you have the view.
You inspired me on my house. Mine comes out of the floor.
Nice.
I saw this, I saw that.
Very good, yeah. Normally people that buy a house of this caliber, they want the cooking, the work that goes into setting up the entertainment done behind scenes. So this is what's called a invisible door. It's an Italian company, and there'll be a little hidden button that you press, or a device. The house will be controlled, on your phone throughout, and then this door pushes in and slides back to open to the butler's kitchen.
Once you get past this door, it's all master bedroom. First thing you see is Century City in the ocean. And I think, for me, this is the best master bedroom I've ever seen. You immediately walk in and you've got complete city and ocean views. And one of the biggest problems I find when I sell these large view properties is that you can see out, but other people can see in. And that, to me, it's a deal breaker. I'm not
For most people, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah, if you're private, you're a celebrity, or you just want to walk around naked, you don't want 100 homes looking at you.
Right.
One of the most unique things about this house is you could be the biggest celebrity, you could be the biggest nudist in the world, and you can look out over the entire city, and there's not a single house that can look in on you. I love how you sunk this in halfway.
This is unique.
Very sexy.
I love this.
And then, of course, if you want a proper jacuzzi, you just walk another 5 feet outside of the shower into your own private jacuzzi overlooking the entire city. I mean, for me, bathrooms are usually the most expensive thing, kitchens and bathrooms.
Right.
I don't think you can overspend in a bathroom. I mean,
I agree.
I know you tried, but I don't think you did.
You'll hear people say that, oh, this house has a great view or whatever, but to me, the real test of a view house is, can you be inside the house? Can you be in the back of a room and you still have an amazing view? Or do you have to go to the edge of the patio or the deck to see the view?
Look at these doors, too. This is insane. They're like 6 inches. I feel like I'm going into a vault when I'm actually just going into pee, and it looks like I'm going into get gold bullion. Hands down, the coolest master bedroom I've ever seen. You walk in here, you feel like you're literally on the top of a skyscraper overlooking the city. Yeah, you're almost nervous. Yeah, Johnny Depp's estate, which is huge, is right down there in front of the chateau. I mean, really, you can just, you're honestly looking down on all your neighbors. I could do I could just point out to my clients all the homes I've sold here. It'd be perfect. That piece of land just sold for over $32 million. I can see here, that's the Stanley house, which sold for over $30 million, which it's half the size of this house,
Right.
with less of a view, and it's farther east. You can see all the construction that's going on here. I mean, I actually sold that big white house just for $5 million right across there, and that house is coming on for 12.
This was on your show.
We just sold that for 5.1.
I kicked myself in the tail. I should have bought that house next to the White House.
I wanted to buy that house too. So I've seen homes on the market, $100 million, $200 million, $250 million. I've never walked into a closet as impressive as this one.
There's not many you'll find that have head-on downtown views and views down Sunset Strip and Hollywood Boulevard. This is the $1 million closet.
Yeah, or filling this closet, which is another $1 million. Most people, especially on these bigger houses, because it's so expensive, they don't do the finish work. For example, on the ceilings. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars of woodwork on the ceilings. Most other people just leave white drywall. But look at this, LED lighting. It's ridged, it's detailed, it's dark wood, solid wood. All right, let's go take a look at the rooftop deck.
We're a little over 5,000 square feet of rooftop deck with literally 360-degree views over LA. There's a bar going in on this side, so there'll be a covered bar, jacuzzi. That side has it will have a 16-place dining table over there, outside dining table, and then another fire pit, rooftop fire pit.
And I think we can both say categorically, at any price, even near $40 million, there's nothing that's ever hit the market of this quality, this size, and certainly not with these views.
Gosh, I mean, you remember, Jason, before this started, you and I, we were going all over town looking at different houses, inside, outside, trying to, and I tell you, Jason was a great partner throughout this project as a realtor and as a friend, because he would come by. You would come by every month or two and walk the property, look at this, look at that, make some suggestions. So this project has been a compilation of a handful of people's input that's been here from the beginning. So
and you really do take on a personal attachment to these properties.
You do.
It's like a baby that grows with you.
Right.
And you learn from it and you learn about it. So it'll be interesting.
Is it the best job in the world? Yes, it is. And is it lucrative? Yes, it is. And could I have any more fun doing anything else? No, I could not. So I think all those things are true. But that said, it didn't start off that way. I don't want people to think that you walk into the Oppenheim Group and you start making $1 million a year, hanging out with cool people, selling amazing real estate. You don't just walk into a $40 million house or get a $40 million listing. I started in real estate knowing nobody I was in debt. I was driving my grandfather's $700, like 1994 gold Lincoln that overheated all the time. I remember I used to have to put antifreeze in because that thing would like blow up all the time. And this is just a few years ago. I didn't make $1 for 8 months. I was already in like $40,000 of debt. Yeah. And I think within the first 8 months, I was in like $50,000 or $60,000 of debt. But I knew this is what I wanted to do. I easily could have gone back to being a lawyer and made, $300,000 on year one. Mm-hmm. But I just didn't want to. I wanted to, not that I wanted to struggle, but I wanted to find something I was more passionate about. And I didn't care how long it took. I knew I'd be successful. I just knew I had to grind. I mean, I think actually we have a lot of similarities because we were in, I don't know if everyone knows, but Graham was one of the first people I met when I did real estate. We had offices, if you want to call them offices, right next to each other. He was sharing his with like 4 people. I was sharing mine with 2 people. Yeah. And we were across the hall, and he was hustling little leases, and I was hustling anything I could. I mean, you were making a lot more money than me just hustling leases. It was not glamorous. I was doing everything myself. Honestly, I would get so stressed out. I was working so hard that I would like get tears in my eyes at night because and this is when I was getting a little bit more successful, but it was still me. I didn't know if I could afford an assistant. And I tell every one of my agents this: your first 5 deals are significantly harder than your next 25 deals. And I think you would attest to this as well. If you can take a couple years and close 5 deals, I guarantee you those 5 deals will turn into 25. But those first 5 deals are so hard to get. Week after week, I would go look at homes on Tuesdays, go look at homes on Sundays. I would talk to my friends. I would add everyone into my email database, and I would send out emails to all of them. But nothing for months. I mean, in fact, my first sale was a lead that I got from my former partner. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, it would have been over a year before I made any money. I think if you sit open houses, you find great clients. I met Jeff Thomas, who I've done, tens of millions of dollars of real estate with, not including this $40 million house that I'm going to sell for him. And he walked into an open house of mine. He didn't buy that house, but we talked, and I started sending him other listings. And I have met, oh my goodness, I would say I've built half my business from meeting clients at open houses. And then from there, it's a lot of referrals and a lot of repeat business. The nice thing about the Hollywood Hills is these people buy a house, 3 years later, they want to sell it and they want to buy a bigger house.
So how did you then transition into buying and investing in real estate?
Well, obviously it takes a little bit of capital to do that. So I had to save up some capital from just representing people. And then I saw a lot of the other agents in the business that are the really successful, really wealthy people in real estate don't just represent buyers and sellers, but they also do their own real estate investing. So they buy a house, remodel it, flip it, rent it out, whatever. So I've been doing that for, I don't know, you know as well as I do, probably
2012, I think.
Yeah, 6. I think that's right. I bought my first house in 12 or 13. So a perfect example. Bought it for 3.5, put in $500,000 plus into a remodel, sold it, made $1 million in a year's worth of work, and it wasn't that much work. I feel like one of the things that you have to stay focused on is not getting ahead of yourself. And I don't mean that you're not ambitious, and I don't mean that you don't dream big, but it's baby steps. You don't walk into a $10 million house and buy it. You don't buy, your first house is going to be small. Your first sales are going to be small. In fact, I honestly, Graham, I think you're a perfect example of somebody who started off really hustling, small leases that turned into $5-10 million sales. Right. So hustle. In fact, you put a property on Craigslist or something like that, or West Side Rentals, and that's turned into now like $20 million of sales.
Yeah, $7 million sale, and then now a $9 million sale.
You start small, you work hard, and honestly, you got to be smart too. Yeah. You got to know what you're doing. Don't let this guy, fool you with his charm. This guy hustles, and he's super smart, and I think that's what it takes.